Hi everyone, welcome to the Quipster Film Review Podcast. My name is Vince Leo. I am the film critic for the website Quipster.net. I thank you for listening and I hope that you enjoy the review. If you do, I do encourage you to click the subscribe button and you continue to get all of my reviews downloaded into your podcast player all throughout the year. Also, if you want to check out more of my work, you can find over 3,800 written reviews at my website, Quipster.net. That's QWIPSTER.net. Casual Encounters, which is today's film. It's a comedy. There's some romantic comedy elements to it. It's an R-rated film because of strong, crude sexual content, nudity, and language, and it runs an hour and 21 minutes. The main star is Taran Killam, and also features supporting roles from Brooklyn Decker, David Krumholtz, David Arquette, and Mark Boone Jr. The director is Zachary Adler, and the screenplay is by Sebastian J. Michael and Eric Steinmetz. If you haven't heard of Casual Encounters, it's because it's basically going straight to VOD. It's currently playing on iTunes and Amazon Prime and other places where you can get your video-on-demand films. So it's probably also going to be appearing on streaming services at some point, sometime soon as well. It's a very small film, independent film. Casual Encounters is I guess it's a romantic comedy of a sort. It's trying to find humor within the world of online dating sites, specifically ones that cater to hookups. Taran Killam is the star. He plays a man named Justin. We meet him at the beginning of the film. He's in bed, he's waking up, and he hears his girlfriend of 5 years. He hears her voice on his alarm clock radio that's waking him up. She's appearing on a radio show that's hosted by a popular national shock-jock. And she ends up breaking up with him publicly after revealing to the world that she had a threesome in order to get back at Justin for forgetting their anniversary, which in and of itself may have been a bit cruel, but apparently Justin has a history of being neglectful to his girlfriend. It seems also that everyone has heard this radio show and his coworkers and others rib him mercilessly for this, even though he's feeling pretty distraught. They end up eventually feeling kind of sorry for him. They encourage Justin to get back out there in the dating world, forget his girlfriend, just dive headfirst into casual sex with the first person that he meets on a dating site, which he's never tried before. So with the help of his horn dog telecom company office friends named Sammy and Louis, played by David Krumholtz and David Arquette, Justin ends up signing up for a one-night stand type site called Casual Encounters. However, Justin's pretty unprepared for the kinds of women that are out there that are looking for a quick hookup. You know, there's women who grossly lie about their appearance. They use photographs of their sister or others, or they misrepresent who they really are. There's even some pretty devious and dangerous sexual appetites among some of the women out there. Meanwhile, off-site, Justin becomes closer friends with his attractive coworker named Laura, played by Brooklyn Decker, though he does have some run-ins with some of the women that he meets from Casual Encounters, and that may come back to haunt him and ruin his chances of perhaps romance. Casual Encounters, as a movie, I guess it can be seen as a bit of a throwback to the kinds of comedies they made over the last couple of decades. There's raunchy indie films. You know, I'm reminded when I watch this film of Kevin Smith's early works like Clerks and Chasing Amy especially. There's your workplace comedies. You have Office Space and Waiting. You know, some of that material ends up in here. Some people might even compare it to Judd Apatow and some of his more, you know, his raunchy comedies that have a lot of really off-the-wall characters. 40-Year-Old Virgin, I guess, would come to mind because there is some material where they show them at work and also encouraging a guy who doesn't really know what to do. And it's a very low-budget production. You know, an interview with Taran Killam states that it's about $500,000 for the budget. That seems a little high. I feel like it has to be less than that. But then again, it does have some star power here, even if it's minor. So maybe it was. It was shot in about 12 days a few years ago. Like I said, it has an appealing cast of character actors here. This is an interesting starring role for Taran Killam, who is one of the main players on Saturday Night Live. He's very good on that show. That's really one of the reasons why I decided to check this film out, because I like his work on SNL. The setup of the movie, it's not really anything new in the world of rom-coms. It has its moments here and there, but I think things begin to take a slide into, I guess, less savory territory once Justin enters the online dating realm. You would think that this is where the film really takes off, but, you get into the case where every date is a nightmare of a sort, but it's a nightmare in a way that doesn't really feel real. It has a kernel of truth, but it's greatly exaggerated. So if you find the notion of a surprise date with a heavyset woman who's also an amputee, I found some of that material a little bit uneasy for me to watch because I feel some of the material seemed to be a little bit insensitive toward women of a certain weight and toward amputees. It seemed to find humor in it in a way that I thought was a little bit mean-spirited. There's a dominatrix type woman that he meets in the film. There's this philandering woman who's into so-called, what she calls them, blumpies. So if you don't know what that is, it's best not to even bother looking that up. If you find that kind of material funny, maybe this is a movie aimed at you, but it certainly wasn't aimed at me. If you don't find really crass, crude humor funny, you'll find that Casual Encounters is a bit of a D grade and maybe even degrading comedic material. It's not even funny enough to make it as deleted scenes in films that were mostly improvised, like you would find in a Judd Apatow comedy. It has smarmy, one-note characters. It aims pretty low in terms of the crudeness and the writing. The sets, there's only a few different locales. They look like they were set up in minutes. And there's a second half to this film that starts to feel more and more slapped together from disparate scenes. It feels like a lot of that just ended up in the movie just to get the runtime necessary to qualify it as a feature film. I don't think Casual Encounters as a movie is going to be close enough to entertaining for most viewers looking for great or even good or even passable performances, even though the actors here are appealing. If you're looking for any kind of witty insights into the dating world or even just a cute romance between Taran Killam and Brooklyn Decker, I don't think that you're going to feel like you got what you were looking for here. Outside of its cast, they do try their best to breathe life into the roles. The ideas behind the movie seem to crib too much from other works and better ones, except it does it in a very disjointed and sloppy fashion. If you are like me and you end up spending most of the movie noticing how many times something appearing in the current shot doesn't match what you just saw in the previous shot. There's somebody who goes into a bathroom and the sign on the door is different than the bathroom that they walk out of. Words are misspelled in some of the mock-up signage around their office. They have a first annual party in the office and the word annual is misspelled. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe I'm not giving it enough credit, but there's no explanation for it here. But regardless, if you're noticing stuff like that, the movie's flat out just not working at all. You have to find entertainment where you can. And so this is a pretty poor movie. I'm going to give it 1.5 stars out of 4. I wish I could give it higher because I like to support independent movies, but this one, I have to call it like I see it because I have a duty to my listeners to be honest and to let them know that this is a movie either worth checking out or not worth checking out. Definitely, I don't think that you are going to get your money's worth out of Casual Encounters. And I will say, I did mention that there's nudity in the film. This is an R-rated film, and this is going to be the important thing, I guess, for some people. If you're looking for nudity for Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Brooklyn Decker, who's in this film, you won't find it here. There is a love scene of a sort in the movie featuring her, but you're not going to get what you're looking for here. But if you're looking to see the goods from the obese amputee, you will get your wish. So take that for what it's worth. 1.5 stars goes to Casual Encounters. Thanks everyone for listening. I do hope that you enjoyed this. If you want to write to me, you can do so. You can find my contact information at my website. That's quipster.net. You'll also get links to my Twitter feed and Facebook page there. That's QWIPSTER.net. Until next time, I do hope that you enjoy your time anytime you go to the movies, or whether you're kicking back and watching films on VOD or streaming on Netflix or just catching it on HBO or another premium channel at home. Movies are fun, and I hope that you enjoy watching them every bit as much as I do.